I am a local girl, grew up in Hawaii, have a Hawaiian mother and a father from Missouri, where I now live. And we were living on a peninsula, which goes into the middle of Pearl Harbor. And we were not military. The military built all the way around us. So being in the harbor, I was used to getting on my bicycle and riding down to the end of the peninsula, and my dog would go with me, and we could see the ships, and we could see Pearl Harbor, the military goings on there. And we looked up in the sky, and just barely above our house and barely above the treetops were these bombers coming over. And I'm 6 years old, so I don't know what kind of planes these are, and I'm not scared because I'm with my dad, and but they're coming in so low, and I now know what they are. They were the torpedo bombers on their final descent, because the ships are just a matter of a few hundred yards from our house. And the pilots, when they would bank as they'd head closer to the ships, you could see the pilots, you could see their face, you could see the goggles on their eyes. And then pretty soon there's all this oily black smoke and the noise and the smells in the air. So my dad grabs me and runs back in the house, and my baby brother's asleep in his crib, so we get him and Mom, and he puts us in the back of our car, and we try to get away from the bombing. And what we run into by that time is Army trucks on the road, and we pull our car off to make room for them. But above Pearl City is an area where sugarcane grows, and it's the Waimanu Home Road. So that's where we take our car, and we just stay up there in the sugarcane fields. And pretty soon, more and more of our neighbors are leaving the harbor, and they're coming up. And my dad tries to get some kind of information. And so he takes the dial on the car radio, and what we hear is, "All military, get to your bases. This is the real McCoy."
Yes, all right. How did you feel when you were preparing this session, and what was the first memory that came up in your mind?
I'm usually asked, "Weren't you scared?" I wasn't scared till that night. But mostly I'm not scared because I have my baby brother, I have my mom, I have my dad, the people I love the most, we're together. But when the rumors of all our neighbors are around us, and they're saying things like, "I bet you they're putting poison gas in the air, and I bet there's an invasion, and by the time we wake up in the morning, we're going to be surrounded by soldiers, and I know they're parachuting in." And so we're all really, really scared. And just about that very same time, from Waipahu, which sits up a little bit high, we can look down to Pearl Harbor, and of course now it's dark, but all of a sudden the harbor lights up again. And so everybody says, the Japanese have come back just like we knew they would. Took me 50 years to find out what that was, because we don't like to talk about what we saw that night. And if I had you here live, I would ask you, who knows what friendly fire is? And I would think all your hands would go up, because what we saw were 6 airplanes off the USS Enterprise that had come into the harbor that night. We shot them down. One crashed a block from my house. And I always thought that it was a part of the December 7th in that firing, never knew that it was friendly fire. So one of the pilots survived, and I got his story, which was such a gift.
So one more picture we have right here. This is actually a little bit about civilian life afterwards, and what we have right here is we actually have Dorinda's picture right here.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, so this is Dorinda and her younger brother. And the caption is Dorinda Nicholson and her brother Ishmael with gas mask in their front yard, Pro City Peninsula, 1942.